Hi, this is Regina of Morale Fiber, and last week we got started with Tunisian Simple Stitch and Tunisian Knit Stitch, and in this video we're going to learn how to increase and decrease in Tunisian Simple Stitch, or TSS. And so I've got my little block of TSS started here. This is from the last video where we learned how to work this stitch. And we're going to get started by working into the second stitch here, since we've already got our first loop on the hook left over from the last row. I'm going to work those Tunisian simple stitches by just inserting our hook through the front, under the first or front loop or bar, and coming out through the front on the other side. And increasing is really pretty simple. There's a space between each stitch, and all we're going to do is insert our hook to increase just in that space. We're not going to catch the loops of the stitches. We're only working under that return pass chain on top. So we're going to catch a loop from that space. And then that's one increase, so we're just added one loop to our total count. And continue on Tunisian simple stitching across the row. So that was pretty simple, right? Not too scary. Decreasing is also not scary. We're going to just work this the same way through the front, coming out the front, except we're going to catch two of those bars at once and draw up one loop. So we have decreased that stitch count by one total. And we'll just keep working across the row once we've made our decrease. And the return pass is made in the exact same way as a regular row by yarning over and drawing through just one loop to start, and then yarning over and drawing through two loops the rest of the way until you have all your loops but one worked off the hook. Increases and decreases are not worked on the return pass, they're only worked on the forward pass of Tunisian Simple Stitch. So your return pass is still nice and relaxing, you can just sit there and zone out. That's what I like to do. And on the next row, we're going to increase in that very first space. I do this in a lot of my Tunisian patterns, so I wanted to go ahead and demonstrate. It's the same process. It's just that very first space before you ever work a stitch that is worked to get that increase on the end. And I'll work a couple more Tunisian simple stitches across this row. See, we've worked into our increase from last round. You can see the increase there. It does look a little different than the other stitches, but it's worked the exact same way. Inserting your hook through the front, under the bar, and out through the front on the other side. And again, with the decrease, it's worked the same way. Just the same as all the other stitches. So increases and decreases on the row below, they're just worked exactly the same, just like with regular crochet. I'm going to go ahead and finish up this row. Look at it real quick here. You can see, if you've got a good eye, you can spot those increases and decreases, but they're really not drastic. Just adding or subtracting one loop per increase and decrease, but you can subtract multiple stitches, like a Tunisian Simple Stitch 3 together. So that's a decrease that works over 3 stitches. So we're reducing the total count by 2. So inserting, just like for a regular decrease, under the first 2 loops, but then catching a third. So you've got 3 loops under which your hook is inserted, and yarning over and drawing through just one loop of those 3 stitches decreases by 2. So that's a multiple decrease by 3. We can also do 5. And that's a pretty dramatic decrease. I use those kind of decreases when I need something shaped kind of dramatically, as in my Tunisian hoods. So we'll just insert our hook the same way. Instead of doing under 2 or 3, we're just going to insert under 5. Draw through one loop. Draw one loop through those 5 stitches. So it's a, you can See, the shaping is more dramatic there. And that in notation is a Tunisian Simple Stitch 3 together or Tunisian Simple Stitch 5 together. You can see our bulge here. And I'll go ahead and work the return pass. It's really a lot like single crochet 3 together or single crochet 5 together. It's the same concept, and the notation is very similar as well. So if you've ever encountered that in regular crochet, it's not much different in Tunisian. And here's my piece with the dramatic decrease. You can see the curve or bulge there. It's a really nice shape. I'm going to use that in the hood for the pattern I've got coming up, which is in Tunisian Simple Stitch. And if you liked this content, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks.